Stop! What are you doing?
Stop! What is this?
I'm going to wash your mother, and when I'm done, she'll stand up and walk. The millionaire almost laughed. Almost. But the laugh died in his throat the moment he saw she wasn't joking. Adrian Cole, 35, wealthy, polished in a navy suit and tailored tie, stood frozen in the driveway of his pale stone mansion, fingers pressing into his temples as disbelief flooded him. His midnight blue luxury car gleamed beside him, engine quiet, but he couldn't move a muscle. On the flawless green lawn, framed by sculpted hedges and blooming roses in white, crimson, and blush, sat a 78-year-old mother, Eleanor, resting in her wheelchair. She wore a soft blue cardigan, silver hair neatly pulled back, her lined face composed and strangely peaceful. Beside her stood Hannah, the new housemaid in her late 20s, dressed in a black uniform with a crisp white collar, white apron, and matching headpiece. In her hand was a garden hose, and a steady stream of water poured straight over Eleanor's head. "What do you think you're doing?" Adrian shouted, rushing across the grass toward them. "Before we go any further, tell me in the comments what time it is where you are and which country you're watching from. I love seeing how far these stories travel. And don't forget to like and subscribe." Now let's continue. Hannah didn't flinch. She didn't turn. Water flowed through Eleanor's gray hair, down her cheeks, soaking the front of her cardigan. "I'm washing your mother," Hannah replied evenly. "And when I'm done, she's going to walk." Adrian lunged for the hose. "Have you lost your mind? My mother hasn't taken a step in 12 years. She's paralyzed from the waist down. I've spent millions on top specialists. Neurologists from Switzerland, therapists from Japan, experimental procedures in Germany. Nothing helped. Not one thing. And you think a garden hose will change that?" Hannah slowly met his eyes, calm and unshaken. "All those doctors focused on her body," she said quietly. "None of them tried to reach her mind." "That's insane," Adrian snapped. "I hired the best professionals alive. Every single one gave the same conclusion: permanent spinal damage. Zero chance of recovery. When was the last time any of those experts actually evaluated her?" Hannah asked softly. Adrian stiffened. "What?" "The last examination. When did it happen?" He hesitated. 6 years ago. Maybe 7. After the 5th specialist admitted there was nothing left to try, I stopped. I wasn't going to keep dragging her through pointless appointments. Why fill her with false hope? Hannah's voice remained steady. "So for 6 years, no one has checked whether anything changed. You accepted what they said when the injury was fresh and decided that was the final word." Adrian felt heat rise in his chest, anger colliding with something far heavier. "I didn't quit on her. I gave her the finest care possible. The best wheelchair, the best nurses, everything she needed to live comfortably." "Comfortable?" Hannah echoed softly, not accusing, not arguing, just repeating the word, as if it carried weight Adrian had never noticed before. She turned gently toward Eleanor. "Mrs. Cole, may I ask you something? When your nurses bathe you, do they use warm water?" "Of course," Eleanor replied quietly. "Always warm. Adrian makes sure of that." "And when they handle your legs," Hannah continued, "do they touch you carefully like you're fragile?" Eleanor gave a slow nod, something flickering behind her eyes as realization began to surface. Hannah lowered herself to her knees, the hose still in her grasp. "That's exactly it. Warm water. Soft hands. Your body adjusted to that. Your nerves stopped reacting because there was no reason to. It all blended into the background. But this," she lifted the hose slightly, "this is cold. Sudden. Your nervous system can't simply ignore it." She glanced up at Adrian. "For 12 years, your mother has been wrapped in comfort. No strain, no pressure, nothing unexpected. Her body hasn't been given a reason to respond, no reason for her nerves to wake up." That's not how this works," Adrian muttered, though conviction no longer backed his words. "Isn't it?" Hannah said quietly. She turned the water on again, this time directing the stream toward Eleanor's legs through her clothes. "Mrs. Cole," Hannah said firmly, "I need you to concentrate. Don't focus on what you believe you're supposed to feel. Focus on what you actually feel right now. Eleanor closed her eyes tightly, her face tightening with effort. There's something. It's faint, a slight tingling. I assumed it was just my mind playing tricks. It's not your imagination, Hannah replied steadily. Then she looked at Adrian. Mr. Cole, come here. You need to see this. Adrian stepped forward slowly, hesitation written across his face. Hannah reached for his hand and guided it to his mother's left leg, just above the knee. Push, she instructed. Not softly, firm. He pressed down harder than he ever had before. Eleanor suddenly gasped. I felt that, Adrian. I really felt that. How is that possible? He whispered, tears gathering in his eyes. Most of those doctors likely examined her once, Hannah said calmly. They read the early reports and trusted what they saw on paper. Medicine is powerful, but doctors are still human. They tend to find what they expect. No one expected improvement, so no one searched for it. Adrian felt the words hit like a blow. I was trying to protect her. You were wrapping her in safety, Hannah replied gently. In comfort, in care, in wealth. But she isn't gone, Mr. Cole. She's simply forgotten she's still here. Eleanor's voice trembled as she spoke. She's telling the truth, Adrian. I've felt small sensations for years. Tiny sparks. But I was afraid to mention them. What if they meant nothing? What if I made you hopeful again, only to disappoint you? So I stayed silent. I stayed seated. I stayed where it was safe. If you've fallen in love with this story already, kindly smash that like button and subscribe for more amazing stories. Let's continue. Adrian dropped to his knees in front of her, his tailored suit soaking into the wet grass and dirt. Mom, I'm sorry. I should have kept pushing. I should have believed. You did what you thought was best, Eleanor said softly, touching his cheek. But now Hannah is asking for something else. She's asking us to try, to risk, to hope. She turned her eyes to Hannah. What do you want me to do? Hannah extended both hands toward her. I'm going to count to 3. When I do, you're going to attempt to stand. Not because you're certain you can, but because you're willing to see if you can. Eleanor swallowed hard. And if I can't? If nothing has changed? Then we try again tomorrow, Hannah answered simply. And the next day. And the next. Until you rise, or I run out of hoses. Eleanor laughed. A genuine laugh. The first one Adrian had heard from her in years. All right, she said, gripping the arms of her chair. Let's see. Hannah moved into position before her, hands ready. Adrian stood close, heart racing. This isn't about winning, Hannah said quietly. It's about trying. Ready? Eleanor clutched the arms of her wheelchair, her knuckles pale and tight. Ready. 1, 2, 3. She pushed with every ounce of strength left in her body. Her arms quivered violently, her face twisted with strain, and then, unbelievably, she lifted, barely 3 inches off the seat. Her legs shook uncontrollably. For long seconds passed before she dropped back down, breathless, tears spilling freely. But she had risen. After 12 years, she had risen. Adrian stood speechless, tears streaming down his face. I did it, Eleanor breathed. I really did it. Again, Hannah urged firmly, before doubt creeps back in. They tried once more. 8 seconds this time. On the 3rd attempt, 15. By the 5th, she held herself upright for 30 full seconds, Hannah steadying her hands. As the sky melted into streaks of orange and pink, Hannah looked at her and said softly, one more time. But now, take a step. That's pushing it, Adrian began nervously. I can do this, Eleanor said with sudden fire in her voice. Hannah stepped back. Just 2 feet. 1 step from the chair to you. I won't fall. Eleanor nodded, tears falling freely. I trust you. Then stand and walk to me. She pushed herself up again. Her body trembled violently, but her legs held. Slowly, she lifted her right foot and moved it 6 inches forward. No chair, no support. She was standing alone. You're doing it, Mom, Adrian whispered. Her left foot followed. A small, unsteady step. She was walking. One more, Hannah encouraged. Eleanor raised her right foot again, wobbling before placing it down with determination. 3 steps. 3 impossible steps. Hannah caught her as she tipped forward, both of them laughing and crying at once. Adrian wrapped his arms around them, and the 3 of them sank into the grass together. "How did you know?" Adrian asked through tears. Hannah brushed her cheeks dry. "Because I was in a wheelchair too. 7 years ago. They called it permanent spinal damage. I couldn't move for 3 years until someone shocked my system awake with cold water and refused to accept the word impossible." Adrian stared at her. "You were paralyzed." "For 3 years," she nodded. "Your mother will be walking with a cane within months." She stood, brushing grass from her dress. "That's why I came here. To remind people they aren't broken. They've just forgotten how strong they are." Adrian looked at his mother, who was still touching her legs in disbelief. "Thank you," he whispered. "Just let me continue working with her," Hannah replied. "That's more than enough." For months later, Eleanor walked into Adrian's office with only a cane. Adrian promoted Hannah to full-time rehabilitation specialist, paying her 5 times her original salary. And every Sunday they gathered in the garden among the roses, remembering the afternoon, "A simple garden hose proved that miracles happen when someone refuses to quit." If this story moved you, hit like and subscribe for more inspiring journeys. Tell us below if you believe it's never too late to begin again. See you in the next one.